Ian, pleased or relieved?
Bit of both, probably. Delighted, really. I think there's probably a little bit of a sense of relief. I think, especially with kind of the last 5 minutes being a bit of a crazy game from 3-0 up to, obviously conceding and then being put under a bit of pressure at the end. So I think, relieved, but I think deserved to win the game. I think, we were the superior team in the first half. I thought credit to them, they're a good side. They came out second half and put us under a lot of pressure, pinned us right back, and we knew we'd have to kind of weather that storm and go again, and we'd have chances at the other end, and that's the way it happened. So yeah, nothing but pleased really with the boys. I thought to a man, excellent. The effort, the application, the attitude was spot on. The managers picked the right team, the right tactics really, with the two pressing midfielders as well. So he's got to take a lot of credit today as well with the way he's set up, but they followed the game plan perfectly, and standing here really pleased with a good away win.
And the setup was sort of 4-3-3, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. More so kind of, we normally go kind of a two deeper midfielders and one in front, kind of a number 10 if you like, but Dyer thought it'd be a better idea today just to have one sitter and for the two midfielders to go and press and lock onto their two midfielders, which worked brilliantly. I've got to say we really won a lot of second balls, especially in the first half, and the tactical was to try and get the ball wide and for Loza and Tapi to be very influential in the game, which is proved to be the case as well. So it doesn't always work out like that. When you kind of do something on the training ground, it doesn't always kind of bear fruit at the weekend, but he's certainly done that today. Everything we talked about this week in the build up to the game has happened, and when you haven't won for a long time, it's sometimes difficult to play with that sort of freedom, but the boys have done that, and that says a lot about them.
And one or two changes in the starting 11 and on the bench. Was that in order to suit this type of system, or did you pick the system to suit these players?
No, probably. I mean, we look at every game. We do a lot of work on every game, and obviously, we've talked about being a part-time club, but behind the scenes, we've got to make sure we're as professional as we can, and that starts right from the start of the week with the video analysis of the games and finding out as much as we can about the opposition. And we just felt that the team and the personnel was going to suit, being effective to the way we wanted to play against this particular opposition. And the bench the same. Sometimes there's people that are unlucky not to get on the bench today. That shows the strength of the players we've got around the place. But we obviously, the manager's got to make decisions based on what he thinks, and he's justified certainly with that today.
Yeah. And of course, massive controversy in the dressing room. Who actually scored these goals?
So Heidi's claiming it. Heidi's claiming all three.
Insisted on a photo.
And to be honest, Tarps hasn't pushed him too hard on it. I think there was a half appeal from Tarps, but I think even Tarps has held his hand up and said it was Heidi's goal. So great for him. It's three different types of goals really, poachers' goals if you like, and obviously pleasing for him. But he grabbed the match ball straight away, didn't he? And he's convinced he got all three. So we're not going to argue with him.
Fair enough. There's a further layer of complication to this, because a Stockport gentleman said that the referee says that one of the goals was an own goal, and therefore Heidi's not entitled to the match ball.
Oh really? Which goal was an own goal?
I presume the one that everyone.
The second one? No, I'm not sure that's the case. No, I mean the videos are the beauty of the videos, and it's going to clear everything up, isn't it? Yes. But Heidi's convinced it's his. The boys are in there signing a match ball for him now, so we're all happy with that. And it's great for Heidi, obviously. But it doesn't matter how the goals come and who scored them today. I think the 3 points and getting back to winning ways is the most important thing from the whole day. Probably even more so than the performance. If you're asking me, would I have taken a scrappy 1-0? We would have done. But I think the way we've played and gone and scored 3 away from home against a team that's on a great run of form, to be honest, is really pleasing and exciting really. We've got a 2-week break now, time to work. I think everyone probably needs to get refreshed and kind of put their feet up for a couple of days, and then we'll be back on the training ground next week and working hard at it again.
So it was a good tactical move to go out of the FA Cup.
I wouldn't say that. I'd never say that. But it does sometimes give you that break, doesn't it? Where we've now got some time to work. We've obviously got some new personnel into the group who are trying to bed in. Glenn Ray hasn't trained with us yet. He's just gone and played 3 games without really doing anything on the training ground with us. So it will give us a chance to kind of bed players like him in a little bit more and give them a little bit more input as to the way we want to do things.
I'll come back to him briefly in just a second, but I wanted to throw in and add that the Stockport gentleman I referred to earlier did say they would be very happy to give Heidi the match ball, but it was only the referee.
Yeah, the ref wasn't letting that one go, was he, to be fair? Heidi tried his best, didn't he? But no, Malks has been good to him in there. Malks has given him one, so that'll come out of Malks' wages, I'm sure. But he's been good as gold in there and giving Heidi a ball, so the lads are signing it. And everyone's obviously elated in the change room. It's going to be a great journey home, obviously.
Yeah. And coming back to Glenn Ray, I thought he was much more influential today than his previous 2 games.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
that's
yeah.
probably because he's gradually bedding in and so
Yeah. I think football in general is difficult because it's short-termism, isn't it? He comes in and we expect him to be kind of at a level straight away, and obviously he's been out of a long time with an injury. He's working his way back. He's in good place now. He's certainly not at the start of his rehab, but he probably did need those first couple of games. And being on a Saturday and a Tuesday, I thought the Eastleigh game he was probably better than he was on the Tuesday, and some of that might be down to kind of fatigue kicking in after so long out. But I think you saw his experience today, second half. He kind of, I think he grew into the game second half, and the midfielders, him, Sean and Kane, worked really well as a 3, and I thought that was pivotal in the second half to us winning the game, the amount of second balls they won. So, we're pleased to have him. Obviously, thankful to Luton for letting him come here, and I'm sure he'll get better every game, but it's probably a bit of a pivotal one for him today to kind of feel part of it, a winning team, and hopefully they'll be better in the future.
Yeah, the thing that impressed me most about him today was the number of one-touch passes.
Yeah.
He just pops it off 5 yards, keeps the ball moving, keeps it in our possession, keeps the game flowing.
He's got good quality. We knew getting him here, we're lucky in a respect that A, Dowse's contact at Luton, but B, obviously the window's closed, so this is a level he's kind of the only level he could come and play at this time of the season. So on 2 fronts really, we're pleased to have him, but he's got to earn the right to play like the rest of the lads. He's not getting any special treatment. I don't think he expects any, and you see his quality on the ball and off the ball today, and I thought it was a really assured performance from him. And there was a lot of others, I must say. It's really difficult to pick one out today because across the board there were performances that were excellent, and that's a really pleasing thing. It's not been 1 or 2. I think to a man today we've got to be pleased with what they've given us.
Absolutely, I completely agree. I won't ask you to name individuals.
That'd be too difficult, and I'd upset a few.
In for having actually watched it, I thought Musa tidied up so much. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
And he won a lot of headers as well. And Casey was superb today. I thought Heidi with his goals.
Yeah. So even you're struggling, Holmes. I thought you were going to pick one. Yeah. Even you're struggling with it. Yeah, Ferdinand. Yeah.
And put his foot in. And
it's a good sign though when it's like that. It's a good sign because there have been games, and not all the games. Listen, it's been a run where we've been frustrated not to win more, and we should have won more in that run. But the performances weren't all bad. There were some things in there which are actually good. But I think when we can come away from home at a club like this and a team that's on good form, and you've just listed 4 or 5 players off the top of your head that have had really good performances, that can only be a good thing for us. And like I say, it's credit to them, the players, for going and doing it. It's credit for the manager to picking a spot on team and getting the tactics right as well. And we're all going home very, very happy.
Absolutely, 100%. Last word for the supporters. We knew the weather up here was going to be horrible. It's a long way.
Yeah.
There was quite a few over there that made some noise. And like me and you, we'll all be going home very happy.
Amazing, yeah, and that's what you want really. We feel like obviously we're representing them, the players and the staff. We're representing those supporters. It's their club, and we're trying to do our best for them to obviously send them home happy like they are today. But can't thank them enough. They're all over there. I mean, luckily they're undercover, so they didn't get too wet. But like you say, a long journey up here, expensive, I'm sure, to get here as well. And they've come and supported the team. They backed us from minute 1, and really, really pleased. And that kind of makes it extra special that they're going to be travelling home a long journey with a smile on their faces, which is great.
Yeah, and no doubt a pint in there.
I'm sure, yeah.
And we may join them.
We may well do.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. Congratulations.
Cheers, David.